Lavanya, and I am going to talk to you about what I think is just about the best thing to do in the world, which is, are you sure? Someone want to say, what about eating chocolate? Writing is better than eating chocolate? Reading is eating better than chocolate? It is? Okay. Maybe we read and write and eat chocolate, so we're all happy. So, I don't know how many of you have chocolate with you, but perhaps we can begin the session by imagining your favorite kind of chocolate and holding it up in your hand. And of course, adults will definitely do this. Children, sure, you can join in as well. Most children don't like chocolate, right? Right? You all like palak and you, right? Children usually eat really healthy things, correct? No? Okay. So hold up your favorite piece of chocolate and you can sort of close your eyes and imagine it, and you can take a big bite. Take a big bite. Take another bite if you'd like. Good? Good? Yeah. So let's begin. So what I'm going to talk to you today is about, well, just this non-stop adventure that I call writing and illustrating. And kids, what does illustrating mean? What is this big word? What does it mean? Drawing? Yes. Drawing what? Drawing what? The actions? Anything else we draw? Drawing the story. Okay. Drawing the story or drawing the... What's happening? Yes. Anyone this side? What is drawing? Why do you need a drawing? Yeah, but when you have lots of pictures in a story, it's boring, no? Isn't it boring? No? Yes? Okay. Okay.
So you draw it to let the people know,
okay.
like what is supposed to be according to the context.
Okay. So, well, yes, there are all kinds of reasons you have pictures in books, and I think they are the best kind of book. I like books with lots of pictures in them, and well, I try to create books which do both, which have words in them and pictures. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I do. Next. So yeah, that's me. That's me. And like I said, I do both. I write and I draw. And yeah, I usually don't use my hair, but maybe sometimes I do. Next. Yeah. And when I started, the thing is I started as a writer, but I got absolutely nowhere. I mean, just nobody wanted to publish my stories. And for somehow I managed to end up drawing, illustrating a book for someone. It was very strange. I ended up illustrating, and before I knew it, I was only drawing. I was only illustrating a lot of books. So I started off doing all kinds of books. You can say I've drawn books about trees. I've drawn picture books about bindis. I drew a detective's handbook. Can you imagine? So cool. It was full of all kinds of secret codes and, you know, pictures of revolvers and people in disguise. And I drew some comics. Next. And then after a while, yes, I started, I draw all kinds of things. I like pictures which are colorful. I like pictures which are just black and white. I like pictures which are happy. I like drawing stuff which is, not so happy. And I got to draw all kinds of... anyone here likes drawing? Anyone here likes drawing? And what kind of things do you like drawing best? Okay, what do you like drawing? Marble. Yes, what do you like drawing? Cars. Cars, yeah. Cars are very tough to draw. Very good. I can't draw cars. 3 dimensions. Everything. You're right. Everything. Yes. You're right. I try to draw everything too. Next. And yeah, that's other kinds. And since we are talking about stories, could you go back to the earlier slide? Sorry. Now, since we are talking of stories and we are talking of how we want to show stories through pictures, I want you to tell me a story. What's the story in the first picture right on the corner? Sorry? It's a circus. That's a story. And what else is going on? The elephant went to the... What about the second one? All right, you got the circus. That's great. What's going on in the second one? Everyone's gone crazy. Yes. Yeah. Totally mad. And you think it's a serious book or it's some really silly story? What do you think? Humor. So it's most likely going to be a silly book, right? And what about the third one where there's this girl in the front? What's going on? Tell me what's going on. It's a circus? What else is going on? Sorry? She is laughing, you're right. Is she in a roller coaster? Something. Yeah, someone is pulling her, right? Actually, someone is doing this to her. She's whirling her around by the hands. So that's what's going on. And what's going on in the fourth story? If you can see. It's a fair, you're right. And is it in a hospital or is it, it's in a carnival, you're right. So you can see all these things. It's like this place, you're right. It's in a school. You're right, it's in Neeb. So look at all the things you can tell me from a single picture. And who do you think the main character is in the last picture, the black and white? The girl there? Yeah, you're right. And you know that simply because of the way the picture is drawn. Yes? So sometimes, often an illustration is like, it's like you have a mystery to solve and a picture has all these clues that tell you so many things about a picture, yes, about the story. So look at all the things you found out with a single picture. So when you illustrate a book, you're a bit like a detective. You have to, but you're working backwards. You're trying to put all these clues into one picture so that you as a reader get so much more out of the story that you're reading. So yeah, next please. Yeah. So that's other kinds of stuff I do. Yeah, next. Again, tell me the story quickly. Give me a story. Tell me what's going on. And there's a tiger coming out of a mirror. You're right. Anything else? Sorry? Yes, you're right. There's something coming out of a mirror. They're sitting on a mat. Now, what do you think is going to happen if there's a tiger coming out of a mirror? He's going to eat everything, you're right. He could eat everything. So right there is a story waiting to happen. Yes? Yes. It's not a window, it's a mirror, you're right. Next. Yes. Now what's this? All kinds of creepy crawly things. Can someone tell me a story here? Are you sure? It's a smelly place. They are all parasites, you're right? Yeah, parasite. Sorry? Okay. They are all bugs, yes? They are having a party, you're right? They are? Yes. They are perhaps going to fight each other? Yes. Okay. That's great. And there's even a bug that looks like it's laughing. Can you see a bug that looks like it's laughing? Right in the, yeah. Well, it's actually what it looks like, though it isn't a very pleasant thing to have. But the other thing about when you draw and when you're doing illustration is you actually have to sometimes go and study. You have to find out what these bugs look like. Now, all these nasty bugs, I'm sorry to say, are things you can find on the body. There's the bed bug, that fat orange guy is a bed bug, and they get into your mattress and they bite you. But so when I had to draw this, I had to go and study bed bugs. I had to go and look at books. I had to look at pictures. So sometimes it's a bit of an adventure. You have to be a little brave. You have to look at all these things. You have to look at a flea, the animal next to it, which looks like an alien. Yes? Someone has dogs here. Anyone has a dog as a pet or a cat? So you know what fleas are? Yeah. So it's a little insect. Yes. So now that's a flea. So I had to find out all about fleas. So when you draw pictures, sometimes it's not always out of your imagination. Sometimes you have to do a little bit of study. But that's the fun part. When you want to start drawing pictures, you also have to be a bit of a detective, in the sense you have to go into books and find out exactly how to draw something for a book. Next. Yeah. Give me a story here. Now, I want someone to tell me tell me about the lady. Give me an idea. Yes, quickly. Yes. Where do you think she's going? To the market. Okay. And she's going to the marketplace. And what about that dashing guy next to her? Sorry? To a bar. Oh, okay, maybe. Yes. 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 Okay, you're right. You're right. So they've got a nice story going on right there. Wonderful. Sorry? A thief, really? But if you're a thief, you have to not be so visible, no? If he's trying to creep in. He's in a disguise. Okay. He's in a jacket. Okay. Now, okay. All right. Um, next. Yeah. Yeah, I'm here. This is a scarier story. What do you think is going on? What do you think is going on? The two thieves. Yeah, trying to kill the fox. Now, okay. And the fox is there. Now, if this was a story, if it was being told by a person in the story, who do you think that person would be? If would it be the fox? You're right. Now, why do you think that? Why do you think it's the story of the fox and not the people at the back? He looks like the main character. All right.
Fluffy Lily.
Fluffy. It is Fluffy, you're right. It was. She said it's Buppy Larry. Oh, yes, that was Buppy Larry. Thank you. And yes, so someone is telling me if this was a story about someone in the picture, who do you think that person would be? And you did say it was the fox. So why do you say that? Why did you say that? He is the main character. Anything else? Do you think it's a funny story or it's going to be a serious, scary story? Horror-ish, you're right. Sorry? Scary, you're right. Now why do you think it's scary? What makes you think that? Is the animal going to? The animal does not die, but why? I want you to tell me what is making the picture scary. Is it the fire? What about the colors? The ghosts, you're right. You're right. What about the colors used? Like you had a picture earlier with a circus full.
I think that they're the witches because the witches like indicate that it's scary, and the fox because it has that red glimmer in its eye. It also looks like it's gonna be scary.
It is. You're right. You're right. Yes, thank you. You're right. So even when you're drawing, you have to use all kinds of ways to show your pictures. So in this case, like you said, we have the way we use color and the way we use, we show certain things in the background and something in the front of the picture. So we use all these. They are tricks. They are tricks that illustrators use to make you see the story without having to use lots and lots of words. Next. Yes. Here's another one. What do you think this is? What's going on?
The witches.
Witches? Yeah. How many dogs? Can you see all? Who can tell me how many dogs there are? One, two, three. How many? 3. You're right. Now I must say, secretly, this is my favorite kind of picture. I like to draw pictures where there are 300 things happening. I love it. I love drawing things. So even I sometimes don't know how many dogs are in this picture. So it's a picture of space. It's a puzzle. Sorry, it is? It's doodle art. It is doodle art. You're right. It is doodle art. And it's a picture with lots and lots of things. And what does it make you think of? In one word? Space.
Space and other things in space.
Space and other things in space. You're right. I don't know if you'll find paper boats and dogs in space, but I'd like to see them there. So this is my picture of what space would look like. And
Sorry, miss. Guys, if you have anything to say, can you raise your hand? I'll give you the mic.
Yeah. Next. Okay. That's another picture. Now, where do you think this picture is? Where is it? It's in a classroom. And what else is happening? She is?
So
Second, uh,
the teacher is thinking. So the teacher is telling a story,
Yes.
and a child is thinking she's like a bird.
You're right. That's it. That's the whole story. You're right. You're right. So there's a story in a. You're right. There's a story in a story, and yeah, and it looks like a good story because most of the class students seem to be paying attention.
The teacher is telling the child what do you see outside, and the child is telling she's seeing a bird outside.
She's seeing a bird. Is it a bird or is it the teacher that she is thinking of as a bird? She is something about the teacher is making. Yes. Yeah. Go on. Yeah, exactly. Yes. The bird is teaching more students.
So
Any other stories? Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think that the kid is making fun of the teacher by so as she explains, she just looks at the teacher and thinks that this is a bird just flying.
Possible. You're right. Any other ideas? Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I think that the teacher is telling a story, and when she does that, she feels very happy. So the child thinks that she is a bird because she looks so happy.
She does. She does look happy. Anyone else? Any other ideas? You had raised your hand. Yes. You wanted to speak. He's sleeping, and I usually like to draw myself into a picture, and I'm usually sleeping. So that is supposed to be me. So I put myself, like Alfred Hitchcock used to put himself in his movies. So there's usually somebody sleeping in the background in most of my pictures. So I try to, yeah. And someone, okay, right, shall we get on? Shall we, excuse me? Yeah, next. Yeah. Now, as I said, I started drawing books, and then I very, very slowly started writing and drawing my own books. And I've drawn books about strange things, about little girls who are too big or too small. And I drew a book about this girl who sees patterns everywhere. And I have drawn books about nature, about animals, about trees, about seeds. And I had a lot of time. They're all very, very different kinds of books. And here's what the books I would really like to talk about today is. It's a series called The Ninja Nani. You've read The Ninja Nani? Yes.
I've read the first book.
Yay, I'm so glad. Thank you.
I've read the first book of Ninja Nani.
Okay. So great. So you know what I'm talking about. So this is a series of books which is next please. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's about a ninja, a nani who is she's a ninja. Everyone knows what a ninja is. Who's a ninja? Yes. A ninja is what is a ninja? Who knows? Aap batao. What is a ninja? She's very sneaky. A warrior. Anyone else? It's a Japanese warrior. An assassin. Okay. Well, this isn't that scary. So you're right. So it's about a nani. Anyone here has a nani who is a ninja, by the way? You never know. Yeah, you do? What? Okay. Sorry, she? Okay. Well, I must say that all nannies have all kinds of superpowers. Do you agree? Do you agree? So, yes. So, anyone here who has a superhero nani? Like my yes, you're right. Anyone else? She can go invisible. Excellent. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? My nani was a very good storyteller. I think storytelling is a superpower. Anyone else here whose nani or dadi was is a good storyteller? Yes? Yeah.
My grandma
Okay, that's wonderful. Anyone here who's Nani or Nana is a good cook or a good singer?
Mike.
Yeah? Excellent. So see, these are all superpowers. Do you agree? Do you agree? Yes. So these are all superpowers and all of us have a ninja nani at home. Maybe it is not fighting ninja, it is singing or cooking or coding ninja, but all our nanis are superheroes. So this is a book about all kinds of crazy things. Now because I like to tell stories and I like to draw stories, I decided that I'm going to put everything together, which is why Ninja Nani just turns into a comic whenever it feels like. So this is a book where there is a boy called Deepu and there's his Nani, and one fine day something silly happens and Nani becomes a ninja. Now you tell me, is there anyone here who likes martial arts? Anyone who likes to think about ninjas and stuff? Yes. Now imagine if you were a person who knew all about ninja, you like to watch movies and you like to pretend you are a ninja, and then your Nani becomes a ninja, not you. So can you imagine how would you feel if that happened to you? Not so great, right? So of course poor Deepu is not very happy about it, but then they go on to have all kinds of silly adventures. So next, this is a book which just, because I'm drawing and because I'm writing, I just decided to have lots of fun. So it's full of silly characters, it's full of comics, it's full of side jokes. So you have these skeletons which are talking in the middle of the story. And next, yes. And as I said, you have comics. Now I want someone to tell me what's going on in the first comic and then in the second comic. What's going on? What's going on? Tell me. Who is the first comic about? Tell me. Aliens. Someone else? Anyone else? Aliens, UFO, aliens are invading. And what's going on? Look carefully and tell me what's going on. Superman. Okay. Can you see one human being in the middle of the picture? Yes, he's dreaming of an alien. You're right. And now look at the second picture and tell me what's going on there. There are aliens again and it is a dream, but who's having the dream? Is it a man or is it a little dog? Maybe is it not very clear? Can you look carefully and see who's having the dream? The dog. You're right. So this is a book. This is a series which is full of crazy characters, and not all of them are human. And it turns into a comic book whenever it feels like. Yeah. So it's full of silly jokes, which is there are all these news items. So the whole point of being able to mix drawing and writing is you don't always have to use words, and sometimes you don't even have to like make drawings. I can tell you a lot of story just like this. Can you tell me what's going on? Okay. Yeah. So I could write 2 pages of dialogue, 2 pages where I am telling you how this one girl and this boy are having a conversation, or I can just draw it like this. I can just mix the words and I can mix all the drawings. So in one piece, in one drawing, I can tell you that Meera has called Anmol, and Anmol is always eating. He is always eating. There are 4 books in the Ninja Rani series. He is eating in all of them. So there is Meera asking him a question and he has to reply. And then later on in the book, Meera it's a very important part of the book where she has to ask a question. But nobody is listening. So what does Meera do? What is she doing? She screams. You're right. Yeah. Now Meera's superpower is she knows everything and she's always telling you. But her second superpower, which is more useful, is she has a fabulously loud voice. Even aliens stop. Aliens in space stop when Meera yells. Yes? She screams like me. It's quite possible because yes, she does scream like me. Am I screaming? Is it too loud? Okay. So yeah. So there is Meera, and she asks a question, and in the next picture we have all the questions answered. So this is another fun way of telling a story without actually having paragraphs and without actually having me draw people, because what do you think the second picture is showing us? What's the second picture showing me? Shadows. Okay. Yeah. Or are they answers to her question? Is that possible? Because she's asking me a question And these are the answers to the question. So maybe it's all the people in the room who are answering her question. So next, yeah. And I think, yeah. So here are other books I've done where there are different ways to tell a story. So here's one where you just, use a lot of color. And next, yeah. Or you use shadows to tell a story. And you notice something with both the stories? Did you notice something about both the pictures? Yeah, and the next one? It's black and white and a third color. So that's yes? Oh, you did? Okay, great. Lovely. So, just keep going. Yeah? Yeah. So these are some pictures. I'm out of time. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, next one. Next picture. Yes. And sometimes a story comes, most of the times we write a story and then we think up the pictures, but every now and then a story comes from the drawings. It can work backwards too. So in this book, for instance, it's called The Boy Who Loved Birds, and it was about a man who went on to do a lot of study of birds, and one thing about his life was he loved something called Mughal miniature art. Can you see the pictures on top? So those are examples of a kind of art form that he really liked. So, and that became the way to tell the story. So instead of me writing a story about once upon a time there was this boy, it turned into a story where we first saw the pictures, and then the pictures were the way that the story was told. So it worked backwards. So if you look at the details, it's a picture with lots of little details. There are trees, there are people, there are human beings, there are silly jokes also hidden away inside, which are all things that you will find in Mughal miniature art. And again, here's a story which is also written backwards. It's where the art, the way to draw, tells us how to tell the story. So this is a book full of demons. This is a book full of demons. And yeah, next. So it's about demons, and guess what the demons' names are? Now I'll give you a clue. It's a story about a bunch of children who went up a mountain when they were not supposed to, and they had no water. And when they got stuck on top, they got very cold, and then they got very hungry, and then they got very scared because it was night, and then they all got sick because they had gone up too fast. Yes? Sorry? Yeah, it was very cold. So this becomes a story where they meet demons whose names are thirst and fear and cold and sickness. So it became a way where I told the story backwards with the pictures, and then the story came out of the pictures. So there are all these crazy ways, yeah, next, to tell stories. And what is the one great thing? It's fabulous. It is the best feeling in the world to tell all of this. But what's the one sad thing about is, of course, it takes a lot of time. So you spend a lot of time drawing, but it is wonderful. It does, and you're constantly working, and you have to revise and then go back and change things. So while it is a lot of work, because you are doing the job, you are both drawing and you're writing, it is also a great deal of fun. And yes? Yes. Okay. So, so finally, yes, let your ideas run wild. And if you like writing, you like drawing, you'll find ways to connect both. And sometimes you may find that just drawing pictures or doodling might help you think better. And sometimes if you're trying to draw something and you can't, you might find that just writing about it might help you solve a lot of problems. So I think have a lot of fun with words and pictures, and enjoy yourself. Thank you.